Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I'm hoping to upload maybe 2 videos a week talking about issues regarding memorization and recitation of the Quran, and then maybe on the weekend to upload a video, an actual video of my children recitation and our routines. So this will kind of give you the schedule and you know what to expect from this channel, inshallah. Today I would like to talk about something that doesn't really get talked about, and this is how to help parents practice. Okay, today I'm basically just setting a foundation. I know it doesn't seem like I'm answering maybe all the questions that you have right away, but I'm just trying to set a foundation, you know, and give you a framework to work with. How can you set up your own home recitation and memorization program for your children? What are the foundational things you need to think about? I am a parenting coach, and I teach a lot of workshops, I teach a lot of seminars, I host a lot of parenting support groups where moms can talk to each other. And when I ask them what's the biggest concern in regards to Quran and memorization and recitation, or what are the issues they're struggling with, a lot of people feel shy to bring it up and almost embarrassed. And then, you know, when if it's anonymous, if they're able to share it privately, you know, through cards or just, you know, notes. One of the biggest questions that comes up is what to do with children that are resistant to Quran memorization. What to do with children? Why is it that a child rolls their eyes and sighs and doesn't want to do it when a parent asks them to do something simple? When a parent asks them, can you recite the surah, and the child is just acting like it's the worst thing in the world. Why is this happening? And a lot of parents feel alone in this matter. They think it's just happening to them because everywhere else they read about these great kids, mashallah, that are reciting Quran with no problem. They read all these articles and blogs that are saying that, you know, Quran memorization is very easy. So then they feel guilty and they worry a lot. So one of the biggest things I've found that the parents worry that they're not good enough parents, because it almost seems like if I can get my child to memorize, what's wrong with me? And I know this seems kind of funny, but that's the feeling a lot of mothers have when they come talk to me. It's we worry that we're not good enough. There is no evaluation from an outside source. We're kind of thinking, why is this so hard? And it shouldn't be this hard. So I want to tell you that it's normal, that every parent struggles with it. And this is why I'm doing this channel, because I want to show you the reality of it. Because, you know, when we see the finished product, when we see a child reciting a clip on YouTube, mashallah, it seems so motivational, and we're just kind of feeling, wow, we want to do this, we want the same for our children. But then our reality looks so different, and then we start to worry and we start feeling guilty. What I want to tell you is that you are a very unique parent. There's never been a parent such as you. And at the same time, your child is equally unique. There has never been another child that's exactly like your child. So even your relationship that you have to your child is going to be very unique. If you have few children, each of these relationships will be unique. And I'm sure you can, you know, see that for yourself. If you have multiple children, you will see that they're all very, very different no matter what you do. So each of these relationships will be different. What I'm trying to share here with you is that in the previous video I mentioned that relationships are very important. I'm trying to tell you here that each of these relationships will be very unique to you and your child. So no one will be able to give you very specific advice that is just going to be catered to you, because no one knows your situation as best as you do. But what I'm trying to give you here is a framework, like a toolbox of things that will help you understand what is going on and how you can bridge that conflict. So I would like to share a few examples. For example, we know lettuce grows in dirt, right? And so if you happen to buy lettuce in the market or in a store, and sometimes there will be dirt on it, and you haven't washed it, and you bite into it, and you kind of bite into the dirt, it's an unpleasant feeling. But that doesn't mean that the lettuce is bad. Lettuce just grows in dirt, okay? So let me compare this to your relationship with your children. Just because the relationship has a conflict, you know, in it, doesn't mean the entire relationship is bad. We grow through conflict, but we grow through mastering that conflict, through coming out of it. So keeping in mind that gardening example, we also cannot make the lettuce grow by force. We cannot yell at lettuce and tell them to grow. We cannot force it, pull it up by its leaves and say, come on, grow faster. So it's the same with the relationship with our child. We cannot make our child memorize faster and mature faster. This is just something that comes naturally. Okay, so there is conflict for sure in every relationship. This helps us grow, but we cannot also, it will also depend how we deal with that conflict. If we dump a garbage load of dirt on top of that lettuce, we're going to suffocate it. So same thing, if we have too much conflict in a relationship, it's going to be very difficult to do anything. So we're trying to cultivate this garden, and same like we can make it grow by force, we can influence the conditions of the garden. So we can influence the relationship, we can influence, we get to know our child, we see how he or she learns best, we see if they're tired, if they're cranky, if they're dealing with some emotional upset. We try to make the conditions right, and that will enable our child to grow better, inshallah. So I hope this helps, to understand that conflict. So when we talk about the relationship, nobody really quite understands that, like as the parent, the struggle with the recitation of the Qur'an, because the Qur'an teachers don't get to see that. When the child goes to the Qur'an teacher, they will recite the memorized portion, and it will be great or either not great. It will be pass or fail, depending on their standard. But that doesn't tell us anything about the struggle that happened at home. That doesn't tell us anything about the relationship. So a child could be going to the teacher and reciting really well, but having lots of struggles at home, and the relationship could be struggling. Or on the other hand, the child could be struggling with the recitation, but they're trying to do their best. So the teachers won't really see this side of the Quran recitation and memorization story. This is the stuff that happens at home, and I'm hoping to shed some light on it, because I feel like a lot of parents are going through this. A lot of parents are struggling with it, but they have nowhere to turn. And I want to give you hope. I want to give you some motivation, some inspiration, hopefully, and then hopefully also some practical advice. Okay, so going back to it, you are very unique, your child is very unique, your relationship is very unique. You can only improve the conditions around it. Now there are some things that are just facts. Alif ba ta, it's just facts. It has to sound a certain way. The pronunciation is just facts. The tajweed rules are just the facts. There's no going around about it. If a child makes a mistake, that mistake needs to be corrected. So a lot of parents struggle with that. They say, well, you know what? How do I establish this individuality? How do I establish this relationship and this uniqueness while at the same time teaching the facts? How can these two be bridged? And this is something, very important to keep in mind. Yes, you need to teach the facts, you need to teach the material, but at the same time you need to do it while preserving the relationship. Okay, and I will in future videos try to explain why there is so much resistance. What does the child feel? Obviously we cannot cover everything in 10 minutes, so this will be hopefully a series of Hifdh Insight, something I've learned through studying developmental psychology and being a parenting coach and being a mother of 6 children, that there's much more to it, to this relationship of practicing together. So I want to help parents practice better. I want parents to be aware what they're bringing into this relationship, because at the end of the day, the child will be responsible for their own part in it. Like they will be responsible for their recitation, the quality of their recitation. We can only influence this in very little ways, but what we can work on is our side. We can work on our reactions, we can work on our tempers, we can work on our patience, because a lot of parents feel very frustrated. For example, I'll give you an example. The child will recite some surah or some portion that they're supposed to recite, and they will make a mistake, and the parent will, in their best with their best intention, will correct them, will say no, correct this. They will say, no, can you pronounce this letter better? Or they will point out the mistake, and the child will just start crying and will be miserable, and then the parent will just sort of throw up their hands up and say, well, that's it, I'm done with this practicing, this is just too hard, I can't make this child do anything, why they're reacting like this. And this is a common sight in many homes, the struggle regarding Quran memorization. Unfortunately, because there is no help and assistance, a lot of people give up. A lot of people just say, well, this is not for us, this is not the path we want to take. And I want to reassure you that there is a way forward, that there is no need to give up, because this is normal and common. And I hope more people will maybe respond in the comments about their struggles, so we can feel that we're not alone. And like I said, I've been involved in these circles for more than 10 years, and I know the struggles parents go through. So hopefully this will just give you some encouragement to persevere and to keep at it, to keep cultivating that garden, because it takes time for the seeds to grow. What motivated you to become involved in Hifdh in the first place is probably because you've seen a motivational video, you've read an article, maybe you were at the masjid and you've seen someone recite, maybe you've seen a video online of another child reciting and you felt very, very inspired. You felt, wow, this is what I want my child to do. And of course, all of us want the best for our children. So, you know, Quran recitation is something that's good for their dunya and their akhirah, inshallah. So it seems easy, so we get started. And then as we dive into it, we realize this is much more difficult than we thought. And we have nowhere to turn. So one thing that happens a lot is we try to measure ourselves with other parents. So we will ask them, which surah is your child on? And that seems kind of that it's a competition, or some people get very, very secretive about it. They don't want to share what their child is doing because they fear ayn, they feel evil eye, they feel jealousy, they feel hasad. But the bottom question behind, the actual question behind this issue is the parents want some reassurance, because there is no feedback anywhere, there is no support for the parents. We're just kind of thinking, okay, if her child started, you know, same surah like my child, and now we're about the same, means I'm doing good, means I'm an okay parent. And this is just happening subconscious. Their child has memorized, you know, 20 juz in 2 years, and we're still struggling with 3 juz. We feel very inadequate. We feel like we're not doing a good job. And then we start pushing our children. We start being negative towards our children, and that doesn't help us. So what I'm trying to do here is be real about the struggles that are at home, because only once we accept that there is a struggle, once we are aware of it, then we can, you know, do something about it, and we can do something to fix it, inshallah. So I'm hoping this helps. This is only one in few videos, inshallah, that we'll be talking about in the series called Hifdh Insight. I'm hoping you will join me next time when I will talk about more details. And thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.